All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Applicable Science Podcast. You know the co-host. My name is Chris,
My name is Amanda.
Chauncey.
and we got a very special guest with us, our good friend Jai Huntley. Also known, she has her own sorority, Jai by Jai Sorority Incorporated. Let me stop playing. Jai,
Black Business Alert.
yeah, Black Business Alert. Jai, if you want to introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Jai Huntley. I'm a electrical engineer major, leadership studies minor from Kansas City, Missouri, and I call myself the creative engineer
Why do you call yourself creative engineer?
because I'm an engineer, but I'm also creative. So with that, I do have a small business called Jai by Jai Customs, where I customize any and everything.
J by J, J by J. So today we are talking about electrons and protons, so the basic particles of atoms. So if you don't know or you've never taken your chemistry class, atoms are
Don't take it.
what? Take chemistry? Chance, just because you have bad experiences don't mean other people won't love chemistry.
Chemistry's fun.
Hey, actually, you're right.
Well, Chris, just like everyone should take statistics.
Right.
Yeah, but anyways, statistics is another beast. That's not chemistry. That's totally like you and I guess Orgo. Would that be a match made in heaven?
I don't like chemistry, so but I'll take it.
Fair enough. So just finish it off, Jai. Do you have a course that you don't like besides engineering?
I mean, it's pretty much all engineering.
Okay.
I mean, I made it through my courses, but would I have had more fun elsewhere? Yes.
Don't discourage the other. Okay, what?
No, I'm not discouraging anybody. Follow your path. If you like solving problems, choose engineering. If you like to be creative and see colors, go more architect. Sure.
Fair enough.
But it works out in the end, so that's good.
Either way, they're both in need of jobs.
Yeah, so it worked out.
Job with either engineering or architecture.
Yeah.
Either way, we're still brothers. So brothers and sisters. So it doesn't even matter.
Either way, we're all still struggling through school.
We still all got to stay up at 3:00 in the morning to finish
Right.
some homeworks and projects.
Yes.
But to get back on topic, today we are talking about the atomic structure, focusing on electrons and protons and neutrons. So if you don't know, or you've never taken a chemistry class, our bodies are made of some atomic particles called atoms, and those things consist of neutrons, which are neutrally charged. They don't have a positive or negative charge with them, and they're attached in the nucleus of the atoms. Well, also with the neutrons are protons, which are positively charged, and they're in the nucleus as well. And on the outside of the nucleus are something called electrons, which is very, very important for three of the people on this call with us or this podcast, because that's all we deal with on a regular day-to-day basis.
Quick fact: neurons are basically the majority of the atomic number. No, not atomic. The atomic mass. My fault. Atomic number is only proton.
You mean the nucleus?
No,
It's only. I said neurons is the majority most of the time, except for like the first couple of atoms like hydrogen, helium. I think it's all the way up until like
Wait, what do you mean by neurons?
nitrogen, and then that's when neurons start to overpower protons in terms of
Neutrons.
in terms of atomic mass.
Okay. Gotcha.
you know he got that DMV. He got that DMV language. He got that DMV
Like
accent.
neurons.
You got to get past that.
It's the same thing.
You have to be confusing people in here.
Okay.
All right. And yeah, electrons form are in the orbital cloud or orbital circle around the neutrons in the nucleus of the atom. So to find an analogy for that, we've chosen do opposites attract, like electrons and protons do opposites attract in relationships. So I know from an engineering's perspective, current. We calculate current, which should be, if you don't know what current is, it's pretty much just the flow of electrons in the circuit. So let's think of a battery. If you have a battery on one end of a AA battery, for example, there's a positive end and there's a negative end. So electrons will be flowing from the negative to the positive terminal because they're negatively charged. Yes, thank you, Chauncey. Duracell. We're not sponsored, but it's on the screen right
We're
now.
not- this is not the video, but okay.
It gets the job done.
As you can say, this is the positive end that Chris was talking about, and right here is negative.
Yeah, so the electrons will go from the negative to the positive. It was in a whole circuit, pretty much. But then we just calculated backwards. So we pretty much disregard the protons in that case because they're flowing in opposite ends. So just focusing on electrons is pretty much that. But needless to say, the reason why we are saying do opposites attract, because in the circuit, the protons and neutrons are going past each other. So they need to attract each other in order for things to keep moving. So like with your computer or whatever you're listening to on, there's some current flowing. So in order for that to happen, there has to be two opposite ends of, or two opposite atoms attracting to each other in order for it to work. So I beg the question, do two people need to be opposite each other for it to work? Or what are you all's opinions on that?
Well, I'll just say off the bat, I don't think it's necessary for opposites to attract. I think it's based off preference. So some people want someone who's like a lot different from them. Like say if one person introverted, they want someone who's extroverted. Or like there's just multiple like opposites like that. But then at the same time, I personally feel there's some points that could be too opposite and you don't connect. So then at the same time, I don't really think that opposites attract. But sometimes you want to find things that complement you and might better you, and that might be something that's completely opposite from you.
I would say I would agree. So as far as opposites attracting, some people make it work, but it just really depends on your personalities. And I know a lot of people who are more so like, I need someone who's more similar than me than not. So it really just depends on your preference.
Chris?
Could I date or could I marry? Well, date and marry, I guess. Could I marry a girl that was opposite of me? So meaning, I don't know, but just from a first person point of view, I'm kind of like distant, like fly on the wall type of person. Do I want the female that's very like, I guess I don't want to say out there, but like always adventurous, always doing something? After a while, it's just get annoying. You're like, why don't you just sit down somewhere, like have a seat?
That's where you come in, so you balance her out. So you're saying, calm down, but then there's other times when she brings you out your comfort zone.
Right. That's fair. That's fair. Sometimes I just don't want to do nothing though, and she might make me do something that I don't really want to do, like skating. I can't skate, and I don't think I'm going to ever learn how to skate unless I do it myself. So
she can teach you how to skate though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't know
some
how
good.
to skate at all?
No, I don't. Not a skateboard, not some rollerblades, not them roll bounce, none of that.
All right, let me ask you a question. When you try to skate, which pair of skates did you get?
The one the skating rink gave me.
Okay, so you got the regular ones. Okay. Because if you was to get the straight wheels, that's much harder than the regular ones.
Yeah, only people that don't look like me use those. I've never seen anybody that's African American wear those. Now I might be ignorant to that because I've never seen it, but just in my experience, I've never seen an African American do the rollerblades instead of just the skating skates.
I had some when I was younger.
You had rollerblades?
I did too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So you just need to go. We ain't taking to
I was just too cheap to buy stuff like that.
You're still cheap to this day.
During that time, that was during the Super Smash era. So I would rather pay money for that than for rollerblades.
That's fair.
I didn't pay for it. My mom did.
Yeah.
It's
So,
still
I was
coming
too young
out
to have
of
money.
family pocket.
Right.
is it hard to skate in the rollerblades then?
No, as long as you know how to regular roller skate, like
don't.
I'm gonna say
good,
you
then
need to know the regular
rollerblades
roller
is like a
skates
step
before
up.
you know how to rollerblade.
Well, we're down for the count.
We're gonna have to take you one day. And I think for you, if it's a case where you feel like you're a fly on the wall, it might be more to your benefit to have somebody who's more so out there. So y'all ain't just like huddled in the house all day.
Chris is just like me. I'm a homebody. I'll mess around, stay at home all day.
I mean, it's fine being a homebody, but say it's a case where somebody does like start taking you somewhere so they can show you another side to life, then that's always cool too. But if you refuse to be a non-homebody, then you definitely need somebody who is a homebody.
That's fair.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm like personally for me, like not even like so much of who I am. I'm a introvert. That means I'm introverted and extroverted.
That's an
But-
excuse. That just means you just don't know how to sit down, or you just don't know when to get up.
No,
That's an
it's like
excuse.
so I have moments where I'm more outgoing and then moments where I'm just like a homebody and not
Other
really
word,
doing anything. Like it's like a straight balance. Like I've been like it's just my personality. But also like one thing that I kind of say like career wise is I want to go into the medical field. But personally, I do not want a man who's in the medical field. Because just it's something I'm so deep into and that I know a lot about that I would want somebody just based off preference, someone who I'm not familiar like in that area, just so I can learn from them and grow. So like say if someone like in finance.
You don't want no nurse? You don't want no male nurse?
No. Like I was like, I don't like nothing in the medical field. But just something that's different, like even maybe like an engineer, because I don't know anything really. Well, I know like a little bit, but like there's so much in that field to learn, and I'm like a teacher at heart, I would say. My mother's a teacher, so like I want to teach him things, and I would want him to want to teach me things as well.
Fair enough. Chauncey, don't think I forgot about you.
Mm-hmm. Tell the ladies what you want.
Well, they probably tuned out because Chris already gave his spiel. So, but
here we go again with this.
Mr. Entangler.
Oh my gosh. No new
Another
names.
nickname.
No new names. No.
I mean, I already know the girl that I want, and I already have her like imagined. She's someone who is definitely more outgoing than me and more, I'm not going to say the center of attention, but she is definitely friendly. Cause I'm friendly too once I get to know you. She always likes to try new things. She gets very stubborn at times. And like the one thing I want that we're both similar is that I want both of us to be somewhat competitive.
So she likes the Steelers and you like the Ravens? Like a house divided.
I mean, that's a good example. But, I'm, to answer the question, yes, I do want some things that are different from me so that I can experience.
Now, do y'all think y'all are attracted to it like off the bat, or is that something that do you find yourself being attracted to people that's just like you? Because I think it's like the same for me. I'm more attracted to people that's like me, even though I'm probably gonna need that opposite person or complement person, which is something we talked about on this podcast before.
No, yeah, I would definitely say what I'm more attracted to is like someone who has like a similar thought process to me, and like I guess like how like just personality wise, but like I want it different in like their goals. I would say that's what I want different.
feel like for me, I can't necessarily say I'm attracted to it because I have to get to know you first. So I guess what makes me more so attracted to you at first is like your personality, stuff like that. And like I really like when people are just themselves. So there's some people who try to impress you and stuff like that. And then at that point, I can already tell like, okay, you're doing too much.
Right.
But if you're just truly yourself, then I get to know or learn like, okay, he might like this, he might like that, and just go from there.
Yeah, that's when you realize he's not really a Kansas City Chiefs fan. He's just named
nobody's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. As far as Hampton, nobody's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Yeah, but with that, how you said like the house divided thing, like I don't think I can have a man cave in my house that doesn't have Chief stuff in it.
Ma'am, then that's not a man cave if he can't put what he wants in his cave.
Hey, it can't be all whatever.
You got the rest of the house. This is where the opposites of trash come in. You got the rest of the house. Just let him be attracted to his little section of the house, okay? Let him do whatever he got to do in that house.
And some splashes of red.
No, if he is a Raiders fan, let him be from Oakland. Let him be from Las Vegas. Whatever one.
It can be the Raiders symbol, but the symbol needs to be red.
What?
Compromise.
Yeah, compromise.
I don't think they sell those. Job by job gonna have to make that.
I don't mind.
Chauncey, why you said cap?
I was capping to Amanda's spot, but there may be some Captain Jai's statement too. So, but the cap
statement I made.
Main cap was
how was a cap?
Amanda, that's cap.
I've reformed my thinking. Okay.
Oh, so this is a newly formed thinking.
It's like you learn from your mistakes and then you move on and you're like, what you take out of it? I take out new things and a new way of a new approach to finding your person. So it was put the cap back on because it was
put the cap back on.
Yeah.
So Chris, what about your past relationships?
Oh Lord, here we go.
You're the one who brought this on. So
I didn't think we was gonna go there. No, I'm letting you drive this conversation. What do you want to know?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? You just asked me a very vague question. I'm just gonna give you whatever you ask.
So did your past relationships, what did you see in them that resembles you? Because you said you see yourself.
What did I see in myself that resembled them? So they were on different spectrums. I want to say that at first. At different points of my life, I've been attracted to different things because of the age or whatever I was at life. Even though I'm only 22, that just sounds like, ma'am. Well, I don't know.
It's still present today.
I'll just give one, particularly the one I was attracted to her, just her like just vibrant energy. Like she always was like funny. She can make me laugh. Yeah, and she was just like, just had like a magnetic feel almost. Hope that answered your question, reporter Upshur.
No, I mean the reporters is the one sitting next to Amanda.
Investigator Jai, Investigator Huntley.
My screen shows up a little different, so I don't know who's sitting next to.
Yeah.
It's showing up correctly. Investigator Huntley.
I'm at the top though.
Don't worry.
I guess if I rearrange it in my head.
Yeah.
Of course, I do have some questions.
The video shows sitting next to Amanda, so yeah.
If only we could bring those conversations back from Olin in the engineering computer lab with the wedding ring discussion, the when to get married discussion. Yeah, we just had too many discussions. And
you want to summarize the results from that real quick?
So basically, ladies and gentlemen, some people on this podcast, not to be pointing fingers.
No names.
Yeah, not gonna name no names.
Probably Chauncey.
Listen, I am not ducking nothing. Like I would gladly tell you my position on the wedding ring. But
Go ahead and tell it.
listen, America.
America? We listen to other people listening to other countries, right?
Right. Y'all global.
Listen the world, okay? My stance on wedding rings are, if I'm going to give you a wedding ring, right? What I've been told from newly found information, that the engagement ring has the actual diamond, and the wedding ring is the encapsulate. Okay. So on that note, if that's the case, why should the engagement ring that has the actual diamond be more expensive than the wedding ring?
And what was the conclusion? Do you remember the conclusion that we all agreed to?
The conclusion was that is something that you and your spouse can work out and talk about, but majority of the times that seems like the case. Like, it shouldn't be more expensive than the wedding ring, just for a simple fact that the engagement ring has the gem on it, and no band should cross more than the jewel.
Yeah. I thought the original problem was the amount that you were talking.
Because
I think he's over there capping.
Whatever the budget was is gonna come out of that budget. And they were just arguing for no reason. They lost.
So there, in class, there might have been like, I don't want to say 5 segments of guys, because it might have been 4.
We're segments now?
Well, I don't want to say segments, but we can group you guys, because I remember who was in there, but I don't remember everyone's
5 different points on the spectrum,
or maybe 4 or 3, but I don't want to overshoot or undershoot it, if that makes sense. So if we go with 5, one person was basically saying that they're going to propose, take the ring back, and give it back on the wedding. So that was one person. Another person, like Chauncey, was basically saying he's gonna put her on a budget. It can't be this much, yada yada yada. Another person was like, I'll give her whatever she wants. If it's 50,000, she got it, because I'm gonna express my love to her.
Wait, who was that?
And
hey Chris, I swear.
What's his name that starts with a D?
By the end of this, the next time we on, I'm going to create a soundboard so I can get the alerts going.
Okay, cool.
What was his name? It's not Darius. Daniel? Starts with a D.
Oh, Darren.
Yeah, Darren. So he was the one saying he's going to treat his wife. He want her to show the ring off. Larry was pretty much on that same page. And then the 5th category might have been something outrageous. But it wasn't like, it was only 2 guys who had sound thoughts. Chris, maybe you too, but I don't recall.
The 2 guys are the person who's gonna willing to drop whatever money, right? I'm assuming.
No, not even. Like, it's different if it's like, okay, we're on a budget. I got this amount. But you were over there saying like, oh, she can't have both. She need to pick between these 2 things. She only get $1,000 on this and $2,000 on this.
I said if you
can't be over 5.
See, this is how you misconstruing what I said. I told you my stance. What I said was, if you want an expensive engagement ring, I got you. But just know it's coming out of the original wedding ring budget.
You said wedding budget.
Yeah, I think you said wedding.
The wedding budget?
I definitely didn't say wedding budget. I said wedding ring budget.
Why would you
basically, if you want a $10,000 ring, all I'm doing is putting some rose petals and you're walking down the aisle. And you ain't getting a flower girl. You ain't getting none of that.
Wherever the rose petals lay is where we having the wedding.
Huh?
Like, we're gonna use nature for that.
Yeah, right. We're not gonna put a deposit down on no venue or nothing. No. Wherever I put the rose petals is where we're gonna get married.
We're going to a local park.
To chapel, because it's free.
True. But no, okay, I have a question. So, based on your experiences and things that you've seen, would you say that, is it like tend to be when when you have two opposites come together? Do you think that's when more relationships become toxic, or do you think it just depends on the person and the relationship?
Two opposites. So
Yeah, like, do you say it's more like, does it tend to get more toxic when it's two opposite people, or do you think it's just when, like, just depending on the person?
I think it's just depending on the person, like you were saying earlier, that they have the willing to just compromise and realize what's their deal breakers and what's not their deal breakers. So
Chris, what's one of your deal breakers?
I think we talked about this on one of the episodes, but I'll say it. We talked about this with Destiny. If you didn't watch photosynthesis and cellular respiration, go do that. Photosynthesis.
Synthesis.
One of my deal breakers was she has to believe in God. Yeah, that's the first one. Another deal breaker was she has to be, I don't remember, no, hold on. I'm just saying. She has to be kind-hearted. I don't really want no angry woman all the time with a bunch of hate. That's kind of like just annoying. Like, why can't you just be happy? Like, for real, like, there's no reason to be having all that hate in your heart for no reason.
Mhm.
If
No, for
it's
real.
not warranted.
Yeah.
That's fine. I was just,
Yeah. So yeah, it just depends on the person. It just depends on the couple and how they manage it. So if somebody really is a messy person, the other person better be the best organizer possible, or they better check that person and be like, "Hey, we ain't doing this." So either you pick up your panties or your socks or your drawers with the doodle stain on it, whatever it may be. Pick them up off the floor, put them in the hamster or the laundromat bucket, whatever you put them in, and let's just keep it tidy enough so that we can live in it.
See, I feel like once you become too opposite, that's when like stuff starts breaking apart in a way. Like I can't think of a couple where it's like two opposites and it's like really working out. So like for me, I'm crafty and stuff like that. So I would need somebody who's willing to like sit next to me while I try to like put a dresser together or something. Like if you just be like, oh nah, screw this, like you on your own and walk out, man, I don't need you.
A dude that can't put a dresser together? Ain't
I
just
mean,
reading
there's
instructions?
some dudes out there who don't know how to put a dresser together. Do you
Hold
guys
on.
know how to change tires?
Yeah.
No. Do you, Chauncey?
Wait. Go back. What do you say?
Do you know how to change a tire?
No. Go back.
The dresser.
A dresser?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not even, say I wanted to build a dresser from scratch. Like I have an auntie who likes to build stuff and like make headboards and stuff like that. So her fiance is pretty much like, if he sees her with a screwdriver in hand, he's pretty much watching her over her shoulder. And if she starts doing something wrong, he'll be like, that's not how you use it. But she was basically saying like, sometimes she'd rather just do it because everything turns into a lesson. But I appreciate the fact that he wants it to be a lesson so she can do the stuff without him. But then there are the men who are like, oh, I don't know how to do this. I'm not willing to learn how to do this. You're on your own. I'm gonna go watch some TV.
From scratch? I could try to build it from scratch. It won't be the best dresser you ever had, but it'll be a dresser.
Scratch is kind of difficult.
I mean, it might be difficult, but I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily a dresser, but I just feel like for me, some people, I guess I could say some people would tell me you just need to go and buy the dresser versus trying to make my own dresser. So I feel like for me, I would need somebody who understands the fact that I'm not finding stuff out there that I like. So I would rather create it myself. Now, if you can talk some sense into me and say, just buy it, then okay, I understand. But if you don't, and I still want to build my own dresser, you know, you just got to understand my thought process or my logic, you know.
Talk some sense into me.
Yeah.
What
I'm hard-headed. So like really, if I want to do it, I'm gonna do it unless somebody tells me like, you know, you really shouldn't do it. But until then, I'm gonna just do it.
Yeah.
But I would just say for me, I just need somebody who can understand my thought process. Because I know there's a lot of couples out there who are just like, oh, you just need to go buy that. Stop trying to make stuff on your own. You know, so it's almost like limiting my creativity skills.
understanding your thought process and saying like understanding thought process, but then like not actively doing it is two different things. Like I can understand your thought process, but if you are mad at me because I don't want to help you when I don't know how to do it, for example, then I don't understand how that should be negatively impact the dude.
I mean, I wouldn't say
Or
I
the
would get
girl
mad.
in any instance.
Like, I wouldn't say I would get mad, but it's a difference if, like, you see somebody trying to, well, I guess I can say change a tire. So I feel like changing tires is kind of a simple duty. So if it's a case where I'm on a flat tire and my dude's sitting in the car while I'm outside changing the tire. Like, it's one thing if I don't know how to and you're like, okay, I'm going to teach Jai so she knows, versus me sitting in the car watching Netflix while, well, I guess he's in the car watching Netflix while I'm outside fixing a tire.
That's what we
Is
call.
this Go ahead, Chris.
That's what we call a sucker.
So yeah, so I don't need no suckers around here.
So is this an assumption that he doesn't know or he does know how to fix a tire?
I mean, it's not, if you can watch Netflix in the car while a female is outside, that means you have internet access. So if you don't know how to change a tire, you can go on YouTube.
That's what we call. That's what his TLC called a scrub, and they didn't want that.
So maybe that's just what I don't want then, in short.
But yeah, I kind of taking it from you, like you want someone who kind of is like willing to try things. Like say if you're doing something and he might not know how to do it, at least he's willing to like attempt to put in something instead of like oh, let me just go buy a dresser because I don't feel like watching you do this. Like he'll actually be like, oh, let's build a dresser together.
Yeah, quality time.
Yeah.
Or just sit and talk to me, or get your laptop, watch Netflix, something.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just leave me hanging, I mean, if you want to leave me hanging, shoot for a start. Maybe I'll switch when the time comes and I want to build a dresser. But right now, I feel like it would be nice to have somebody sit with me and build the dresser, watch me build the dresser, talk to me while I build the dresser. But maybe I could be expecting too much. I don't know.
No, I think you're on par. I 100% agree. Men take notes.
Trying to think. The best visual description I can get with opposite attracts is like when those short dudes really get those tall girls and they look like
The dudes get the girls that are way out of their league.
That ain't
that ain't bad. That's just good game.
It ain't good game. Like it could be personality. Some people could be the most funny looking people in the world and their personality rules everything. And I'm sure in her eyes or his eyes, they ain't thinking, oh, they funny looking. They gonna look and be like, this is the love of my life.
Yeah, the love of my pockets. For the love of my pockets.
And like some tall, like Kevin Hart and his girlfriend, or not his girlfriend, his wife. He's short.
That's different though. That's like literally an inch between them two. It ain't that noticeable if you think about it.
She be wearing heels and he touched her shoulders.
Kevin Hart has, well, I can't say he has a good personality, but he is funny and he has money. So those usual traits.
Inside joke, everybody. My fault. Yeah, he has money though. That kind of makes up for it. That kind of makes up for the fact that he's not 6 feet tall. But I mean, he do have game. I've heard so.
That's what I'm saying. I can't say personally, but it seems like he's a funny dude in person. So if you add that on plus money, I mean, a lot of the user traits you look for a man will kind of decrease.
I mean, it depends on who's looking. Because if you only offer money and funniness, there's a lot more lacking.
But there's a lot of girls will go after that.
There's a lot of girls who will go after that just because of the money, but are they truly happy?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not.
I got a question. So, I've been thinking about this recently. And this is kind of going back on topic with opposites attract, but the reverse. Do the same people? I'm gonna just say, do broke people break people. And what I mean by that, do broken people like break other people because of their spirit? When they get in a relationship, they just hurt other people. They just bring that trauma back onto them.
Yeah. So I like you're basically saying, do hurt people hurt people?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like, say somebody's fully functional and then there's someone who's hurt comes into their life. So it's almost like I was completely fine before you came. You came and interrupted my life. We was having a good time or whatever. And then because of the stuff you haven't chosen to heal from, it ends up affecting the relationship, and then you dip, and then I'm left hurt.
So do hurt people attract other hurt people?
Yeah. So it's almost like, it's like hurt people can attract hurt people, but within that relationship, I feel like healing needs to occur. And then of course, if it's a case where once one person starts healing, then they realize, okay, like I've actually healed from this and I see you're still broken. So I can either try to help you or I can like move along so I can continue to help myself.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like, especially with people who are like hurt, I would say like they often like seek relationships to find stability.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, they kind of either hurt the other person or just like make it a really bad situation and it just kind of ends very badly in general. Or I would like how she said like two hurt people come together. Yeah, but then like say as one person heals from it and then it's kind of just like you helping that person, and then instead of like building a relationship, it's just like, what can I do to help you and this and that. So at the end of the day, for me, that's not really like the relationship that I would want to build off of and that most people should build off of. Because then there's some unhealthy qualities to it at the same time.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely 100% agree that hurt people, like just people in general.
I guess.
Well, what are your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I mean, I do understand, like, hurting people. But what you said was when you said hurt people, but then you said, do hurt people attract others? Then you can't just say that the people who, all right, let's put names to this because let's say person A is hurt, okay? And they met person B.
Is person B hurt or unhurt?
Well, according to you, you said hurt people attracts hurt people, right?
That was me, yeah.
But it can. Hurt people, like if there's two hurt people, they can easily come together and I wouldn't say just vent to each other about their hurt, but in a way, it's almost like they're just therapists, like, oh, I relate to you so much. So they're just relating to each other about whatever they experience. And y'all either pretty much, I wouldn't say soak in it, but y'all pretty much, you know, are each other's counselors or therapists. Well, I wouldn't even say that, but like you guys are pretty much each other's conversationalists.
Okay, so I'll just say if person A was hurt and we go to person B who was completely fine at the time, and then person A hurts person B, and now both people are hurt. I get that, and that's understandable, and that shouldn't be happening. But if person A and person B are both hurting, and person A leaves because I don't know, he or she doesn't like see any more benefit in the relationship, then since they were both hurt to begin with, there's no blame for person A.
I get what you're saying.
Because they were both hurt to begin with.
I guess are you saying who to blame who hurt who?
Right. Huh?
You said you can't blame person A. You're saying blame him/her for hurting B?
You can't blame them if person A leaves, right? And he's feeling better. Person B is still hurt. You can't say it's person A's fault because they were both hurt to begin with. Now, is it unfair that person A left without like helping person B since they didn't like acknowledge it, or like they obviously person B helped person A. So now if you're gonna say that person A is kind of dirty for not helping person B, I get that. But you can't blame person A for hurting person B if person B was already hurt to begin with.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a blame game. like people come into your life for different reasons and situations, but at the end of the day, you learn from it. So it's almost like person A and B have to choose what they decide to learn and grow from. But if person A realizes, oh, I've really outgrown you, then it's no point of them hovering around person B. Like now, if they just ghost you, then that's one thing. But if they're like, okay, I've outgrown you, I'll catch you on the flip side, then person B will just have to come to their senses sooner rather than later.
And you say ghosting is because you feel like there's no closure or something?
I mean, some people will straight up ghost you. So if they just wake up one day and like, oh, I'm done fooling with you, and delete you from your life or delete them from their life.
Ghosting is another topic.
Yes.
That's a whole nother can of worms that some people on this may or may not be guilty of.
Have y'all ever ghosted somebody?
And that's to be another episode.
Okay.
That'd be a good episode for us to wrap things up.
The men of this podcast.
Please like, comment, subscribe. Until next time.